Hello and welcome back to my F1 diary. First and foremost, as I suspected, Mercedes have announced the extension of George and Kimi's contracts. It's unknown exactly how long those contracts are, but they're definitely locked in for 2026. So that's out of the way. My sources tell me that there's also a signed contract with Arvid Lindblad to go to VCARB for next year. So we'll see how that pans out. And if that actually happens, I fear Yuki is going to be left without a seat for next year, unfortunately, because they want to move Isaac up to Red Bull with Max and then just leave Liam in the VCARB seat with Arvid. I mean, I do think that there's a chance that there is a fight between Liam and Yuki for that VCARB seat, but I just don't see Red Bull putting Yuki back there, especially after not really ever wanting him in the first place. And with Honda gone next year from them, I don't know, I just really don't see a future where Yuki stays in Red Bull, unfortunately. So that's something to look out for in terms of contracts. And now something we haven't done in a while, let's look and talk about all the special liveries and special suits and stuff. A quick reminder that all the special helmets will be ranked all together at the end of the year. So right now it's just liveries and suits, which Austin is a hotspot for. So starting with Haas, I really love their livery. Kind of wish it was their normal livery. It's very American, obviously, but they are an American team at the end of the day, technically. So I think it will be fine also outside of Austin. So I really like it. It's a lot more interesting than the normal livery they have. Then we have Alpine with a splash of yellow at the back end of the car, which I also really like, surprisingly maybe. I just really love yellow. Yellow is my favorite color, so maybe I just like seeing yellow. But I just think those colors go well together, even if theoretically they shouldn't. And I just love the pop of color that it gives their car. So yeah, I really like this one as well. Up next is McLaren with their special livery. I mean, it's not really special anymore. It's their kind of default special livery with either the chrome or the white. This is supposed to be iridescent. I'm just kind of seeing it as white, but it's the same placement and everything and kind of the same idea. I really like it. Again, it looks good. I just wish they went all out with it, but sure. I mean, at least it's not ugly. Then we have the Williams special livery, which I really love with all the white in it. Kind of looks closer to the Nigel Mansell livery, which is one of my favorites of all time. So kind of wish they splash a bit of yellow in there, but that's fine. It still looks really good, really cohesive. I really like it. Then we have the Aston Martins. Yeah, I'm not sure how special this one is, but it still looks good, so that's the most important. And then last and least, unfortunately, the VCARB livery. I mean, it doesn't look as bad. I just don't understand the pattern that they were going for. Like, it just kind of looks like melted cheese all over the place. I don't know, I just don't love it. And their team kit is even worse. I mean, it's a real jump scare, to be honest. And they paired it with like a plaid hat. No, just no, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, but someone needs to be fired. No, I'm joking. So now for special suits, we have Haas, which I absolutely love. It's giving vintage Haas. Vintage, I mean, they started in 2016, but I mean, sure, the early days of Haas. Love everything about it. Wish this was their normal suits. Up next is Mercedes with their cowboy themed suits, which I actually really like as well. I think it looks nice. I like the muted brown, like for the Adidas stripes. And yeah, it just looks good in my opinion. Then we have McLaren again with their kind of default special suits, all white, which again looks good, just isn't really that special anymore. Williams also have special suits, which don't look that different to their normal ones, but yeah, they look good. It's just not too special. VCARB also has their special suits with, like, again, the melted cheese texture on it, pattern on it. It actually looks fine with the suit. Gives it a pop of color that I actually kind of like. So at least their suits look nice. Kind of. Then we have Aston Martin with an almost all black suit. Actually really like it. I don't like the geometrical triangles at the side, like green ones. I don't know, it just kind of looks tacky, but overall it looks fine. And yeah, no, that was it. So that's all the special stuff. And before we get to the racing this weekend, I feel like I have to talk about the repercussions for Lando Norris for the incident in turn 1 of Singapore. I mean, there's not a lot of information about what exactly those repercussions are, but they said that he has repercussions for the rest of the season because of that. I want to believe firmly that this doesn't affect anything on track, but I do think it's bullshit because, again, literally nothing happened. Like, what? And talking about lap 1, turn 1 incidents, that's a perfect segue for the sprint we had this weekend, which I kind of forgot existed. But yeah, this weekend was a sprint weekend. And for the sprint, Lando qualified P2 and Oscar P3 with Nico Hülkenberg in P4, which was incredible. And Max took pole because we'll get to Max in a bit. But yeah, Lando didn't have the perfect start. I mean, he had a good start, he had a good lunge, but then Max kind of blocked him and he didn't have a great second phase. And Oscar was right beside him, so Lando outbraked Oscar into the corner to stay ahead of him, basically. And then Oscar was going to go on the outside of Lando into turn 1, but then saw, oh wait, I'm gonna go to the inside because Lando obviously outbroke the corner, so he's going a bit too wide to in to the corner. So I'm gonna get him on the inside, but Nico was there already, so it was absolute carnage. Nico and Oscar bumped. Oscar bumped into Lando, getting all 3 out of the race, including Fernando Alonso, who was also taken out of the race for that. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, thankfully it was just a sprint and not the race, but is that gonna have repercussions for Oscar now for taking his teammate into turn 1? Like, what are we doing? Like, McLaren are setting a precedent for something that they really don't want to be doing with the papaya rules and this repercussions. Like, what do you want your drivers to do? I truly don't get it. Obviously, I don't think Oscar deserves any repercussions because it wasn't malicious. He wasn't trying to get Lando out. Obviously, he also didn't want to get himself out. It was just the heat of the moment. Oscar was trying to go for an overtake on Lando and ended up taking 3 other cars with him out of the sprint. But, I mean, that's just racing. It's a racing incident. Yes, maybe probably Oscar was at fault there because he was the one who moved at the last second to the inside line, and Nico had nowhere to go. Lando was just a bystander, so I do think it was Oscar's movement that caused all of it. If he stayed in his lane, everything would be okay. But again, he was just trying to overtake. Like, that's a normal thing. He saw a gap and he went for it, miscalculating how close Nico was and that Nico had nowhere else to go because Alonso was on his other side. So it's just a racing incident at the end of the day, and we shouldn't be talking about it this much. So yeah, that was the sprint. Honestly, after that happened, I just shut the TV off and went on with my day because what the fuck. So yeah, that was that. Let me get the sprint results because, I mean, it does matter. So Max won, George got P2. He did give a fight to Max at some point, I saw, so great job, George. At least you tried. And then Carlos got P3. GOAT. Absolute GOAT. Then we have Lewis in P4, Charles in P5, Alex in P6, Yuki in P7, and Kimi in P8, closing the points positions. Yuki had a crazy start. He started 18th, so insanely great sprint for Yuki that he got all the way up to P7. And obviously with both McLarens not scoring points in the sprint, even though it is just 8 points for the winner and not 25, he obviously closed the gap a little bit to Oscar and Lando. So Max is officially back in the World Drivers' Championship discussion, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want Max to win this championship. I'm sorry. It's nothing against Max. It's just for my boys. It's gonna be so embarrassing if they don't win it. I mean, it was always a possibility. I think I said it at the beginning of the year, or maybe not, or maybe even last year I said it, that it was a possibility that Max is gonna win this Drivers' Championship because Lando and Oscar are gonna take too many points off of each other. And here we are. I mean, Oscar has not been doing great lately. McLaren as a whole kind of seemed to have lost their advantage that they had at the beginning of the season. And Red Bull at the same time seemed to have figured stuff out. Max also got pole position and won the race, so even more points taken from Oscar's lead. And he's currently 40 points away from leading the championship. So, I mean, it is a bit worrying. I do think it's going to be kind of difficult if it stays the way it is with how Max is performing and how Red Bull is performing and how the McLarens are performing. I don't like the odds of that. I don't like where this is going. But hopefully, again, McLaren, figure your shit out. But yeah, if that is the situation and Max actually wins this, which I really hope is not the case, it really is proof that Oscar and Lando are very, very equal in terms of their performance, because McLaren have won the Constructors' Championship by a mile. So they're obviously getting points, but there's not one definitive dominant driver between the two. Because Lando got P2 this race and closed the championship gap to 14 points from Oscar. And let me just remind you all of Zandvoort, where he had a mechanical failure and lost 18 points. So if Zandvoort didn't exist, or if that mechanical failure didn't happen, Lando would be leading the championship right now. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Oscar, again, as I said, have not had a great time lately. He's been outscored by both Lando and Max in the last few races. This time, though, it was because of the special helmet that he has. Because every time Oscar has a special helmet, it's cursed, and he does poorly. So, I mean, I'm not sure if it is every single time, but an overwhelming amount of times that Oscar had a special helmet, his race was not going well. So, yes, there's that. So yeah, the race, I mean, it wasn't great, to be honest. There was some interesting fights between Charles and Lando, but that was pretty much it. I mean, nothing changed from the qualifying order. So Max won, as I said. Lando got P2, Charles P3, Lewis P4, Oscar P5, George P6, so he did lose 2 positions. Yuki P7, again, a great race for him. Nico P8, his first points in Silverstone, which sounds crazy, but it's true. Ollie in P9 and Fernando in P10, closing the points positions. Carlos did DNF after a collision with Kimi, and nothing too interesting happened there in the, like, from P11 to P19. Other than maybe Franco Colapinto and Pierre, they were close at the closing stages of the race, and they had team orders to just keep the positions because they were both managing, and Franco went ahead and overtook Pierre anyway. So that was that. Gary Bortoletto also went ahead and overtook Pierre, so yeah, I don't know. Pierre was definitely very slow there. And Franco is kind of fighting for his career in F1, so I get that. Between Lando and Max, I really wish we had a battle between them, which I think could have happened if Charles wouldn't have started on softs, which gave him a better start off the line, and he got Lando into turn 1, and then it took a while for Lando to overtake him back. And then after he overtook him, Charles pitted and undercut him. So then after Lando pitted, he had to do it all over again and overtake Charles again, allowing Max to just open the gap more and more and more and more, giving no chance basically for Lando to catch him and maybe have a try for the lead. So Charles, this is on you. I mean, but I can't blame Ferrari for doing that. I mean, it worked. It really worked. And there were some good battles between them. I just wish that those battles were between Max and Lando. In terms of strategy, kind of maybe interesting. Again, mostly everyone started on mediums with, I guess, the intention to go on hards. Charles was the only one to start, like from the top 5, I will say, start on softs. And then I think his plan was to go softs, medium, medium. But then at the end of the day, everyone did just a one stop with mediums to softs or the other way around. Apart from some people who started on the hards. The hards were really shit this weekend. I think they had a step in the compound levels, like the softs and the mediums were consecutive, and then they skipped one, and then that was the hard. So they went a step harder in the tire compound for the hard tires. So it was kind of shitty. They were trying to force a 2-stop race, which is always more interesting, but that didn't work. Everyone, even though the tires were in a really shitty condition at the end of the race or at the end of any stint, everyone did manage to do a 1-stop on them. So Charles went from the softs to the mediums, and Lando went from the mediums to the softs. Although that was really hard because the softs were really overheating and kind of dead after a while. But he did manage to overtake him after cooling his tires a little bit, like backing off and then trying again. So thank God that worked. So yeah, I gotta give props to Ferrari for executing a good strategy for once. And McLaren, you didn't screw up per se, but you do kind of have to fix your pit stops. Because it's always the second one, by the way. It's always the second stop that is slow. I mean, this time it wasn't as bad. It was 3.8, I think, seconds for Lando because he pitted after Oscar. So it's always the second pit stop, which again leads me to believe it's an equipment issue, and I just don't understand why they can't fix it. It's driving me crazy. And again, this is not a minor issue. It's clearly, again, this time it wasn't that dramatic, but clearly there is an issue there, and it's ruining races for you. So please do something. I think that's it from the weekend, actually. But I did want to bring up some things that have came out about Oscar and McLaren and stuff like that. So there is currently a lawsuit going on between McLaren and Alex Palou, who's an IndyCar driver. I won't go into that because it's kind of complicated and I personally don't understand it fully, so I'm just not going to go into that. But during that lawsuit, some screenshots have came out from Zach's WhatsApp communications where he said that he didn't want to sign Oscar for 2024. And it was Andrea Stella who insisted for that to happen. And a lot of people are going crazy over this. And I mean, it wasn't really nice to know either, but I mean, it was kind of obvious that Zach is more of a Lando guy and Andrea is more of an Oscar guy, but that was more vibes that we got from them. And now it is actually confirmed. So it is a bit icky, to be honest, but I don't think it's like out of the ordinary for a team principal. I mean, he's not a team principal, for a team's CEO to not want to sign a driver. Like, that's just part of F1. And I'm sure that it wasn't personal to Oscar. It was just that Zach didn't believe that he could provide them what he wanted from him, which, I mean, obviously now I want to believe he is smart enough to regret that, because Oscar is obviously leading the Drivers' Championship and is a huge part of winning the Constructors as well for this year and last year. So yeah, it's not really nice to know that Zach didn't want to sign Oscar for 2024, but I think we need to put it in perspective and not blow it out of proportions, because this is normal F1, you know? I feel like some people were going crazy and again saying that McLaren don't deserve him, etc., etc. I mean, Andrea Stella obviously wants him and wanted him even then, so like, what's your point there? And he's the actual team principal, so I think we need to relax. Everyone, please. Like, can we just race? And that's it. I have nothing else to add for this week's episode. Actually, I do. Look, I got Kinder eggs because I'm looking for, they have a series where there are 16 like baby animals, and I really want a rabbit one. But what I've gotten so far is this little koala right here. That's literally Oscar Piastri. And this little ostrich right here, which is literally Lando Norris. So I have Lando and Oscar in Kinder form, which is very fitting because Lando loves Kinder. So here they are. They're really cute. Yep, that's it. Also, wait, I wanted to show you, yes, lest I forget, I finished another embroidery project. I don't remember what year it was, Hamilton, Japan helmet. It looks incredible. I love it. As a reminder, here's my other one of Lewis, the Pride helmet. I also have a Daniel helmet, which I haven't started yet, but I will, and I'm definitely planning on buying more. So yeah, those are the things I have, and I wanted to do something else. Wait, what was it? Oh my god, I wanted to show you something else and I can't remember what it was. I remembered what I wanted to show you. So You probably already seen stuff from it, but there was a WhatsApp group chat with Daniel Ricciardo, and I was in it. Oh my god. I mean, obviously, it's not his actual phone, or at least I hope it isn't, because now everyone has his number. So yeah, it's not his actual phone, but it was him talking to us. He was sending voice notes and pictures, and he did the kikiki ra ra, and he sent some cute selfies, which I'll put on screen. And yeah, that was very cool. So yeah, that's it. Bye. So yeah. That's it for today. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm all over the place, but thank you for watching, and until next time, enjoy these memes. Bye!